Sorry about that. So, I'm currently recording the second episode, following the first part, so if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It is currently nighttime, and I'm still waiting for the sun to come up, which, looking at the moon, it appears that I was west, so we should see the sun come up in this direction. So, I'm just gonna quickly cut until that happens, so let's wait here. Alright, so it does appear that the sun is now coming up, which is great. However, I'm not sure. Let's go down anyway. So now that it's daytime, there's a few things you want to look out for. Usually you wouldn't be doing a tree house, usually you do like a dirt hut or just a block of wood. But I was in a tree house, but when you come out to the landscape, you should see, when the sun first comes up, you should see some zombies and skeletons burning, but you should see some unusual, neon green things. Those are creepers, and when you get close enough to them, they will immediately start to target you and come after you. And is that a zombie over there? That is. Alright, so in that direction, if it starts to target you and run towards you, you have two options. You can either fight it or run away. And the best part, or not the best part, but the best thing to do is just to run away, because those things, when they get close to you, they don't really directly attack you. They just explode, which is fatal. So that's a thing to watch out for. But the tactic for killing creepers is you get them to target you like this. You quickly hit it and run away. Quickly hit it and run away. And hit it third time should die. And then it does that. That's how you handle a creeper, otherwise it will explode and you will die instead. Whoa. Don't fall in there. If you find that, that's a good thing to keep in mind, is this is not just a bad thing. This is a good thing, actually, because you can slowly make your way down there and get stuff like that, which I want to go and grab at some point. So we'll do that. And there's also this sort of yellow stuff. That's lava. That is very, very fatal. Do not go in lava. And there's a skeleton right there. So skeletons have no melee attack. They only do ranged attack, and you kind of saw that that skeleton is holding something. It was holding a bow, and has no sort of limit to how many arrows it can use. So there's that. It can't run out arrows, which is slightly unrealistic, but okay. So what I just did was I killed a cow, because I want some leather and some meat, because I'm getting a little hungry. Not really hungry, but I'm running out of food to eat, so I will get hungry eventually. So I wanted to store some meat in there, and I also want some leather so I can get some basic armor, so that, you know, in case the worst happens and I have to fight something, it's gonna deal a little less damage. So something that I neglected to tell you in the last episode was, when you have a bunch of stuff scattered around like this, you double-click an item to instantly transfer all of it into your hand, which is good. Forgot to say that. And also, on the bottom right of the screen is some subtitles that is supposed to be telling you the sounds you're currently hearing, and whether they're coming from the left or the right. In which case, my footsteps, yeps, my footsteps are seemingly coming from both directions because they're my own footsteps. And then other sounds will come from a more uniform direction, such as when I get closer to lava, I should be able to hear, or at least see the subtitles say lava you know, lava pops, lava sizzles, and whatnot. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so there's some mushrooms over here. There's two types of mushrooms in this game. There's red mushrooms, which I just grabbed, and brown mushrooms. And what you can do with mushrooms is you can either place them in a dark area or on mycelium, which is kind of like a variant of grass or dirt, but it's kind of like also the opposite of grass. You can plant it on that and then grow it, or you can place one red mushroom and one brown mushroom in a bowl in a crafting table, or your inventory also works, to make mushroom stew, which is a food. But unfortunately it cannot stack like this. It can only stack up like kind of like tools. It doesn't stack with each other even if you had multiple of them of the same kind. It doesn't stack, which is unfortunate. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go see if I can get that iron, because I have a specific thing in mind that I want to do that will help the tree house a lot, and that is getting leaves. Getting leaves is difficult because you need shears in order to do it, and shears require iron, and iron ore is down there. So we're gonna have to go get that. And I'll just quickly make my way down here. The more I dig down, the more scared I'm getting, because this ravine is filled full of dangerous things like that skeleton, which could shoot me like right now. And I saw a slime over there somewhere, and now I'm seeing a spider and another creeper. And I thought I saw something else right there. I guess I didn't. So I'm shifting, is called shifting over the edge. When you hold shift and to crouch like this, and then try to walk over an edge of a block, even if it's not a fatal height, then you will regardless not be able to go off of the edge. It's only when you're just walking like this that you'll be able to fall off the edge of a block like this. Oh no. I heard the skeleton shoot at me, and luckily it missed and fell at the same time. Now I feel bad for him. But of course, he just wants to murder me, so that's fine. So here's some iron ore right there, which is luckily in reach of me mining it, except I also need to be able to grab it, and if it's hanging over the edge like this, then it's not really going to be able to grab it, because it's just going to fall down there. So we're going to grab all of the iron ore that we can, because iron ore, when you get enough of it, you can also make iron armor instead of leather armor, which is like two, not just one, but two tiers higher than leather, because leather is kind of like wooden tools. There is no, like, oh dear. That was close. Is that sand? That could be an issue. Sand is not supposed to be floating like that. It's supposed to fall. So if you touch that sand, it's gonna fall. So don't touch that sand. Alright, so we got 8 iron ore, which I think is enough. It's enough for what we're doing, but I'm not sure if it's enough long term. Don't really want to be here any longer, so it's fine right now. So we're just gonna use the blocks we gathered to get up and gather more blocks along the way, because I want to. And now we're here. So the sun is starting to set again, so we're gonna keep our cobblestone and our iron ore with us, and we're gonna chop down another tree, because we need the wood. And we're also gonna need the leaves. We actually need to save some of the trees around here because we're gonna gather their leaves. Because when you break leaves like this, you don't get the leaf blocks. You just get saplings and sticks and the occasional apple. How you get the actual leaf block is you need to use shears, which is kind of like scissors, basically. Except you can't just do that and get shears. You have to smelt the iron ore in order to get stuff out of it. And to smelt, you need to make a furnace, which you use this configuration of cobblestone in order to make a furnace. Now, there are actually two other variants of the furnace, but this is the basic furnace, and it's kind of slow and inefficient. But also, there are some things that you can only smelt in this particular furnace, so that is an issue. So some fuels, no matter what you're smelting, as long as you're smelting something in this slot, it will always take the same amount of time. The time is determined by what kind of furnace you're using. And there's only 3 different furnaces. There's this furnace, and then there's the 2 variants of this furnace. And then there's technically a 3rd or 4th kind of furnace, which isn't a furnace, but is a campfire. Now, what I did realize is I didn't find any sheep to make a bed, so we're going to have to wait out the night again. But that's fine, because I'm talking here. So, how long the fuel lasts, which is what this flame represents, is how much of one specific fuel item you have left, is determined by what fuel you put in. 1 coal block will be able to smelt 8 of whatever we put in here, whereas 1 wood block, for example, or any kind of wood block, would do 1.5, which is why 2 makes perfectly 3. Done. So that is some good, perfectly 100% efficient math right there. 1 coal, 8 iron is exactly enough. And luckily I had that piece of coal there, so we were able to do that. So now, we got some iron ingots, and we got an achievement for doing that. You can place the 2 iron ingots like this, like so, in the crafting table, or in here. Either way works. And you get shears. Now, if I break this leaf block, for example, I get oak leaves. And you may have noticed that broken instantly. Because that's actually the genuine speed of the shears, is they break leaves instantaneously, which means you can accidentally, well, I tried to do a demonstration, but it didn't really work. You can accidentally shear multiple leaves when you didn't mean to. So anyway, now we got some iron ingots. I'm gonna make some new tools because I'm gonna worry about the armor later. So we're gonna make a iron pickaxe. And actually, I just had an idea. Instead of making a new axe, which is kinda unnecessary, but you know, it's a good weapon, we'll take 1 iron ingot and save the rest in there. Take some planks, and we're gonna make a shield, which you make using this configuration of stuff. Yes, this is all stuff. And you get a shield. Now, how shields work in this game is you place it in your offhand, which are 2 methods you can do that. You can either just click and drop there, or you can hold an item and press F to switch between your offhand and your main hand. Now, by default, your character will actually be right-handed, which means when you do the main hand, it's actually right hand, and when you swap, it's actually going to appear on the left side of the screen, hinting that the offhand is left hand. But because I'm left-handed in real life, I thought, well, let's change it up a bit. And to change that, it's actually not dependent on like world settings or whatnot. To change that, you simply go to Options, go to Skin Customization, and right about here, you can switch between right and left hand as your main hand. And that should determine whether or not it should appear right or left of your main hand, or your hop on. So now, I want to cook some of this pork, which is very straightforward. Like I said before, 3 of these items, 2 planks, exactly 100% efficient. We'll be able to cook all of this without any fuel remaining, just on fire cooking nothing, which is what happens if you run out of something to cook, but not out of fuel. Also, your fuel will only ignite if there is a cookable and fuel. However, if the cookable is fully cooked before your fuel runs out, the fuel will still burn. So now we got some pork chops we can eat. So, now, I'm not quite sure what to do anymore because I kind of ran out of things that is kind of on my head, on mind at the moment. So I'm just going to fast forward until daytime. I'm just fixing up the tree because I accidentally broke one of the logs that made half the tree leaves decay, so I'm just kind of rebushing it a bit, whatever that means. But the sun's coming up now, and just decided to record just before the sun comes over the horizon, just so you can see how beautiful this is. And that's enough. So I made a little bit of changes to the interior. Firstly, I had to get out onto the top of the tree, so I made this sort of hole here that, you know, anything can come through, so it's kind of precarious. But also, have a little bit of a wooden platform here, and a staircase. So these are actually wooden slabs, and this is a wooden staircase. How you make that is you simply put planks like this in this configuration, and to make a slab you put planks in that configuration, just a straight line, and you'll get 6 slabs. So if I can find, sorry, my throat. It's daytime now, so we don't need to worry about anything hurting us, except creepers, obviously. And skeletons are actually smart. They will actually hide in areas where the sun can't burn them. So that's kind of mildly infuriating. So I'm going to quickly get some leather here. Yes, I want to talk about combat. So combat, how it works is when you have a weapon in hand, you jump and fall while you're in the middle of falling and hit, you'll do a critical hit. And that does extra damage. Sheep. Alright, so now we got shears, we actually don't need to kill the sheep. You just right click the sheep with shears in hand, and you'll get wool. Luckily we managed to time that perfectly with the sheep eating the grass, so it just immediately regen the wool. So now we got 2 wool, and there's another sheep over there, which means we can get 3 wool, just enough to make a bed. I am so lucky today, and I just... Never mind, we'll just make like 15 million beds. That's fine. And we even got an egg as well. So chickens will randomly, occasionally, just randomly, drop eggs, which you can right-click to throw in order to hopefully spawn in another chicken, which I'm not sure where that landed. I hope the chicken's alright. Yeah, so flowers. I grabbed one of the white flowers you saw up on this hill in the previous episode, and I just want to clarify, because I never mentioned what that was. This is a lily of the valley, and it's just a flower that you can turn into dye, just like any other flower. You can turn into dye, and you can combine dyes, and you can make other dyes. Except I want to save this white dye, because I want to find one particular flower, my favorite flower. Except I have no idea where that is. So I'm just going to quickly find that. And I'm going to keep careful now of the position of the sun, so I know what time it is. And you know what? I'll be right back. Ah, yes, I forgot. When you try to sprint while you're submerged underwater, you can actually swim like this. Pretty useful when you want to go very fast. But you're over water, and you don't have a boat on you. It's just something to keep in mind. Well, this is unfortunate. I simply did not find the flower I was looking for. It's a blue flower. It's called a cornflower. And you usually find it in the plains. I even found it. Oh. Now it's raining. Rain happens completely randomly. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It doesn't really do much of anything. Like, nothing negative, nothing positive. But I'm gonna quickly showcase a boat now, because we got water ahead and I want to go home, and home is like right there. So to make a boat, you just you put planks in this configuration, kind of like a U shape, to get a boat. And boats are characterized by what kind of wood you use. So kind of like you use oak wood and get oak wood boat, which is color of oak wood, so that's how that works. Is that my house, or is that my house? I cannot tell. I'm pretty sure that's my house. Yep, that's my house. I'm not sure how I managed to make it look round. It's just very spherical, and I don't know why. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the boat there and not grab it. I'm also going to keep this crafting table in my inventory because it's useful to have in your inventory. And I'm just going to shove all of this as much as I can. We're going to reach a point where you can't really put enough stuff in here, and it's just we need to make more chests. So I'm going to make some beds now. We got 2 white beds. And beds, just like tools and there's certain items you can't stack. It simply doesn't stack up to more than one. And a unique feature about beds is when you place them down, they're one of the few blocks that actually contains multiple blocks, kind of. This is 2 blocks wide. It's like a multi-block structure, but contained in one item. So it's just kind of this weird, odd block. But it's very useful if you want to skip the night or a thunderstorm, which I don't think it's thunderstorming because it's too light and I didn't see any lightning yet. So it's probably not thunderstorming. And if I try to place a bed down, yeah, it says I can only sleep during night in thunderstorms. Because thunderstorms, it's actually dark enough that you can sleep. So that's the thing. And the reason why I wanted a cornflower was not only to decorate my treehouse, but also to make blue dye and combine with the white dye to make light blue dye so I can color my bed light blue. Except that never happens, so here we are. So, I'm gonna continue building my treehouse, and great way it demonstrates the bed, because now it's getting dark and I can actually show this, I think. saw, it's very, very difficult to precisely break leaf blocks. But now, if I right-click the bed, it says I'm sleeping. And then I get an achievement, and then, yeah. So, another unique feature about beds is when you sleep in a bed. Sorry. When you sleep in a bed, it will set your spawn point here. So when you die, or when you come back from, you know, a different dimension, you can come back here, and you will just appear here instead of the world spawn, which is very useful if you don't want to make a gigantic trip back home if your home is like 15 kilometers away, which is very tedious to walk on foot. Very. I have first-hand experience with walking on foot 12 kilometers, and that was painful. Just think about 15 kilometers. That's pretty close to impossible. And it's going to take you a few hours just to get back to your... The good thing about whether or not the spawn point is far away from your actual home is if you actually end up dying and you're way far away from like the spawn chunks, then the good thing about that is that will actually prevent your items, which will spill out everywhere like this, and you have to pick all of them up. It will actually prevent all of them from just straight up disappearing, which is very good, because if that happens... Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. When you're far away from the spawn chunks are always loaded, and the area around you is always loaded. But if your items on the ground, like this, are in unloaded chunks, they will not disappear. Whereas if they are loaded, they have a 5-minute timer, which will always tick down until they disappear, in which case you cannot get them back again. Something valuable like that will disappear forever if it's lying on the ground for long enough. So it is very important to keep in mind not to just throw valuable things on the ground like that, because no matter what it is, even if it's something you long worked hard for, it will disappear after enough time. And there is nothing you can do about it, unless, of course, you pick the thing up, which you should always do. So now, I'm going to actually break the bed, which immediately disables your spawn point. And I am going to do what I'm currently doing right now, which is standing the platform. And then I'm going to end the episode, because I've ran out of things to talk about, and I'm just going to talk about more things when I come up with it when I go to bed, so... yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to show you before we go is a neat feature of the chest. When you put two chests right next to each other, this happens. You get a double chest, which has twice the inventory size, which means you can store double the amount of stuff. Amazing, right? Except, there's nothing preventing you from placing more chests on top of each other, because you can't have a triple or quadruple chest. It doesn't work like that. You just have single or double. But you can have more than one chest, and those chests can be double chests. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. After all, it is Minecraft. You might as well just go all out. So you can do that. I'm just going to place my bed there. And one last thing. Another crafting recipe for the other furnace. There's another furnace that we can craft today. If you place a furnace like that and surround it with 4 logs like this, you get a smoker. A smoker is where you cook foodstuffs, but twice as fast. And of course the same amount of logic applies with the fuel and how many items you can cook with that fuel, except it does it twice as fast. So it still consumes the same amount of fuel. It just does it faster. So that's a good thing to know. I hope you found this useful, and I might consider doing another episode of this if you want to see more, which is pointless asking because I have no viewers. So, that's fine. But goodbye.